Hello students, welcome to the fourth part of force and laws of motion. We have studied definition of force, unit of force, Newton's first law of motion, inertia and its type, momentum, second law of motion and its important points, impulse, Newton's third law of motion, its application and examples, horse and cart problem, law of conservation of linear momentum, its scalar and vector treatment also, equilibrium of a particle, common forces in mechanics. Now in this part we will study friction. We all know what the friction is, but we will explore it today. So friction can be divided into static friction. First, suppose there is one table and on this table one box is placed. Weight of gravity, that is force of gravity, it is in downward direction, and reaction by the table on this weight will be in the upward direction. If there is no force applied on this box, there will be no static force also, both will be zero. But if you apply the force on this block, suppose towards right hand side, the static friction will be applied towards left hand side, that is opposite to this. Now you can see, now next is we are applying force and we have just moved this body from one point to another point. Now what will happen in this condition? Again see this effect. When force was applied, static friction was there, and next we have just increased the force. You can see that if you see very closely and if you concentrate, we have just applied more force. So if we applied more force like this, the static friction will also increase accordingly. Now in the third one, force we have applied more, static friction has increased more, but now applied force is very high than static friction. Now the body will move. The force with which the body will move and the friction which will act in this condition is known as kinetic friction. Now thus force of gravity W is equal to mg is equal and opposite to the normal reaction N of the table. True. If the body is applied a small force F, the body in practice does not move. If the applied force F were the only external force in a body, the body must have moved with acceleration A is equal to F by m, however it may be small. Clearly the body remains at rest because some other force comes into play in the opposite direction to the applied force, resulting in zero and net force on the body. This force Fs parallel to the surface of the body in contact with the table is known as frictional force or simply friction. The subscript S which we are applying stand for static friction. Static friction does not exist by itself. It comes into play the moment there is an applied force. If F increases, then Fs also increases, remaining equal and opposite to the applied force up to a certain limit, keeping the body at rest. Since the body is at rest, the friction is called static friction. Since the body is at rest up to the maximum limit Fs max, it is called the limiting value of the static friction. Static friction opposes the impending motion. The term impending motion means motion that would take place but does not actually take place under the applied force if friction were absent. When the applied force F exceeds to the limit Fs, the body begins to move. Laws of limiting friction now. Fs max is independent of the area of contact. It varies with the normal reaction force and approximately as Fmx is directly proportional to how much normal reaction is applied on the body. Fs is equal to mu s into L, where mu s is the coefficient of static friction. It has no unit, where mu s is constant of proportionality depending only the nature of the surface in contact. So mu s can be Fs n max by n. Mu s is called coefficient of static friction. The law of static friction may be written as Fs is less than or equal to mu s into n. Sliding or kinetic friction. If the applied force F exceeds the limit Fx max, the body begins to slide on the surface. When the relative motion has started, the friction force decreases from the limiting value of the static friction. Frictional force that opposes the relative motion between the surface in contact is called kinetic or sliding friction. It is denoted by Fk. Laws of kinetic friction we talk about. First, Fa is independent of the area of contact. It is nearly independent of the velocity. It varies with the normal reaction force n approximately as Fk is directly proportional to n, or Fk is equal to mu k into n, where mu k is coefficient of kinetic friction. Mu k is constant proportionality, depends only the nature of the surface in contact. So mu k is equal to Fk by n. Mu k is called coefficient of kinetic friction. Mu k is less than mu s. When relative motion has begun, the acceleration of the body is F minus Fk by m. For a body moving with constant velocity, F is equal to Fk. If the applied force on the body is removed, A is equal to minus of Fk by m, and the body eventually comes to a stop. The laws of friction do not have the status of fundamental laws like those for gravitational, electric and magnetic forces. They are empirical relations that are only approximately true but yet useful in mechanical application. Rolling friction, it's very important. A body like a ring or a sphere rolling without slipping over a horizontal plane will not suffer friction in principle. At every instant there is just one point of contact between the body and the plane, and this point has no motion relative to the plane. In this ideal situation, kinetic or static friction is zero and the body should continue to roll with constant velocity. As we can see, there is one ball, it is moving like this. Another situation, there is one wheel, you can see it is also rolling like this. They have all constant velocity. However, in practice this does not happen and the body comes to rest eventually. To keep the body rolling, some applied force is needed. This indicates there is a rolling friction, though it is much smaller by 2 or 3 orders of magnitude than static or sliding friction. Now again you can see there is one ball, it will stop because the friction force is acting. This is a practical situation. Rolling friction has a complex origin. During rolling, the surface in contact gets momentarily deformed a little, and this results in a finite area of the body being in contact with the surface. The net effect is that the component of the contact force parallel to the surface opposes the motion. Friction is a necessarily evil. We talk about demerits of friction now. In many situations, friction has a negative role. It opposes relative motion and hence dissipates more power in the form of heat, like a machine with different moving parts. It causes wear and tear of machinery part in contact and a tire of automobiles. In many practical situations, however, friction is critically needed. Brakes in mechanics and automobiles use friction to stop the motion of them. We cannot walk without sufficient friction. We will slip otherwise. It is important for a car to move on slippery roads. On an ordinary road, the friction between the tire and the road provides the necessary external force to accelerate the car. Methods of reducing friction, how we can reduce it: solid, example graphite, semi-solid and liquid lubricants can be used to reduce the friction. You can see that we use different type of lubricants in our vehicles also, like engine oil, gear oil, steering wheel oil, power oil and etc. Power actually brake oil is for different purpose. Ball bearings can be used to reduce the friction since the rolling friction is less. A thin air cushion can be used between the solid surface to reduce the friction. A proper combination of alloy surface can reduce the friction. Like this, there is one ball bearing. It is moving, ball bearing are also moving, and friction is less actually. Now you can see another air jet. Clear? Lubrication is there in between them. There is one air jet which is reducing the friction. Now this is the end of the part of this force and laws of motion. I hope you will study it again. Thank you, student.